That's it. So that was her tips. I was thinking there was going to be something really earth shaking in what she had to say. And when I read it, it's like, huh, okay. There's some common sense kind of things in there in terms of having fun. So Alexis, are you ready?
Yes.
Serene, your hand is up.
All right. I wanted to say about being a social coach, one of your jobs is to empower these girls and also empower them to empower themselves. So that's the bigger thing, I think. By teaching them how to navigate their SIVs and how to discover these things about themselves, as well as how to code and program and all this circuitry, you're teaching them that they can really take something that they know nothing about and become good at it in a fairly short amount of time because they're working hard at it. And that's one of the big things is by teaching someone that they can do something, you're teaching them that they can do anything.
Yep.
So
Absolutely right. Absolutely. And that's one of the things that the feedback that we got from a lot of the girls this week was I had no idea that I was going to like coding. It was just one of those things I thought was bleh. And it's like, it's actually kind of interesting. It's like learning a new language. And it's like, yes, it is. It is a new language. So I think that, whereas in the past we've offered campers choices about what content that they took, we kind of force fed them here, robotics in the morning. And I think we maybe caught the interest of some girls who would have gone as far away from this as possible if they had been given their own choice to do it. So it's and I have to tell you, by the time you get to the end of the week and a kid comes into the main room, and Susan, you can attest to this, and Kathy, and when we would have somebody in the main room and they would be, oh, it's not working. And we would walk them through, okay, now do this, now reboot this. And then all of a sudden they'd say it's working. And it would be like a cheer in the room. Everybody would be so excited because it worked. It's like, it worked, yay. So, I mean, that kind of, going from, oh, nothing's working to it works, and to watch their faces light up when they realize that it's working, that makes it all worthwhile for sure. Okay, Alexis, your show.
Yes. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to start off in the Google Drive because I noticed that a lot of coaches didn't know where things were. So everyone should have access to this folder called Camp Activities. And within this folder, there's more folders. And you want to go to Camp 2, Monday through Friday, Inventing a Sustainable Future. This is the folder that's going to have all those breakout room folders that you're going to be accessing every day. And here there's a few resources. This spreadsheet shows the campers and coaches by breakout room, so who will be in your breakout room. And there's also a document with outlining the coach duties here, and the slides show that's the social and build coach roles. Okay, so in every breakout room folder, let me just go to one of these. You have a folder for hat tutorials that you'll be using on later in the week for the wearable tech hats. And then you have these this camp challenges slides. So as Dr. Mimi said earlier, and if you were at Camp 1, you might already know this, but Camp Challenges is like a side thing that we want to challenge the girls. It's for the girls that want to go above and beyond, who want to do something a little more extra. And so it's basically just a collection of these small missions for every day throughout camp. And if your team does complete these missions every day, your team can win a prize at the end of camp. But
When are these gonna get done? In the morning, in the afternoon?
All day, all the time.
yeah, and they're due the next day. There's actually time throughout the morning sessions when the coaches will go over these anyway, as part of their breakout room sessions. But things like this one, where it's take a team photo and wear your Tech Tech t-shirts, you really want to notify your campers, oh, tomorrow's challenge is to wear your Tech Tech t-shirts, so make sure you have that tomorrow. And also for Friday's mission, it's also wearing a t-shirt. Something important about this is that it's for a prize at the end of camp, but the real purpose of this is to really just bond with your team members, campers and coaches alike. It's really just to work through it together. So if you could just keep that in mind while you do this. And then the last thing about this, there's the last slide is a portion for the coaches to fill out. So one of the things that the social coach, this is a social coach role, by the way, that the social coach has to do is check these slides every day to notify the campers about the next day's challenge, and also check their progress. So one of the rules for this camp challenges is that every team member has to complete all the challenges on time to be counted for the prize. So the social coaches who are in charge of this, they need to check every day for their team members' progress. Does anyone have any questions on these slides?
And then we send that to you or what?
I'm sorry?
It gets done on the Google. When you do it on the Google Drive, it's automatically there, Roseanne.
Okay, thank you, thank you,
Yeah, it's in every breakout room folder. So if you go to your breakout room folder, it's in there.
thank you.
There are no questions on camp challenges. I'm going to move on to another slide. And the other slide is called daily recaps and next day intros. So these slides are also included in every breakout room folder, so you'll have access to it. Campers will have access to it, and we'll also send out daily emails at the end of every day with the link to these slides. But these slides contain, these are basically just like a summary of what happened throughout that whole day. So it includes resources and links to, for example, materials for the next day's workshops. And it includes a lot of good stuff and useful links. So it will be really crucial for coaches to remind their campers to look at these every day, at the end of every day.
And these are still showing Camp 1, right? No?
Yeah.
They won't change that much.
Yeah, we've kept Camp 1's content just because it won't change that much. We'll still edit it here and there. So you'll be able to see the full updated version every day from around 8:30 to 9. So if you could just make sure to check back in on these slides so that you have a review of what went on that day, and also could get a brief summary of what's coming up tomorrow. Or the
Updated
next day.
AM or PM?
PM,
Okay,
8:30 to 9 PM.
At night, right?
thank you.
Okay, are there any questions on this slide?
I'm gonna go ahead and put Alexis's email in the chat box, but she'll always be here, so.
Yeah. If you have any questions on these or just in general for Google Drive, just please feel free to contact me.
That's Alexis's email. Oh, let's see. So, I will reach out to all of the coaches and strongly suggest that everybody reach out to your fellow coaches to make a connection, just to say hi. I'm your fellow coach, and don't wait until Monday when, everybody gets into the room and you say nobody knows who the coaches are. So let's make sure that you make some attempt to connect in with your fellow coaches in the room, to see if we can get that jamming a little bit. I would say we did better the last time around in terms of having more people, more coaches show up for the training session, but life intervenes, shift happens. Sandy, yes.
I'm wondering if perhaps some of them were coaches in the first session, and so that's why they're not here.
Not many. It's possible. Some of them, I asked them not to. I sent them a specific note and asked them to make sure that they showed up here. But again, that may have gotten lost in the ether too. Yes, Lisa.
If I contact my two girls and neither of them is available, what happens?
We'll find you some more coaches. We'll shift some coaches from another room into yours. You will not be alone.
Okay. Thanks.
Pat, you got a question? Anybody?
Yeah, I was trying to find again where it lists which coaches are in which breakout room.
Okay, let me grab that out of the chat.
We had some in our room, but I don't know if we're missing anybody, don't know if that's it or not.
The one? No, that's not it. Let's see.
Found the list of all the coaches, but it doesn't list their breakout room.
Really? Okay.
Well, it says staff oh, sorry, that's Camp One, never mind.
Oh, you're in the wrong one. Yeah. All right, here, I'm putting it in here. It's in the chat box.
Thank you.
And I know that, I know Suzanne's been working on the attendance stuff, so I'm not totally sure where that's at. I'll have to close with her tomorrow when she gets back on the ground. Other questions or comments? Concerns? The reality is you're going to be surprised by the end of the week by, you're apprehensive today, and by the end of the week, you won't be you'll be exhausted. So you won't be apprehensive, you'll be exhausted. And even from just sitting all day long, one of the things that I will strongly encourage you with the girls is to encourage them to get up and stretch at, even in the breakout room, make time in the room to do some stretching, to do some walking around. If it'll say in the schedule break, but you may be in the middle of your breakout group, and you just tell them to take a break whenever they need to take a break. This should not be something that is so rigid that they don't know when they can take a break. So it definitely should not feel that way. It ought to feel like you're in a room and everybody's working on this together, and so they can come and go as they need to, but they know they can come back to this group for support. So you will find them, a lot of kids are working independently in a group, and they're working on their own things, especially as you get towards the later part of the week where they're actually doing their own creations. Earlier in the week, there's going to be a lot of team brainstorming, coming up with different ideas for things. So there'll be lots of opportunities for talking together. And then as you get towards the end, it'll probably be more focused on what they're trying to get done for themselves and helping each other for those who get ahead, because there are definitely going to be some girls who are going to be much more in advance. See you, Serene. Thanks for your
Bye.
time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Heidi.
Mary, I put in a file on the chat box, but it's not a very good file. It's not a good document. I'm updating it right now with all your links from the chat box.
Uh-huh.
So let me do that because I didn't put everything in that file that I just uploaded. But that's what I do when these things run by the chat is I open up a Word document and I just start throwing them.
Yeah.
out.
And everybody has their own version of this. Well, not everybody,
Right.
but a lot of people have shared with me multiple versions of what they do to do that. And I try to do it all in the emails that I send to you. I try to link as many of the links as possible. I tried in the schedule to make sure that you had all the links for the Zoom sessions on one page so that
Schedule's
you
great.
could quickly go through them and sign up for them. So I know how it works.
Yeah, no, and I love what you've been doing. Thank you.
Make it as simple as possible. And even when you do that, the only thing I urge you to do is if you get something that is from an instructor, like somebody was showing a whole 15-minute video or 30-minute video for one of the workshops that was for the instructors, and they were showing that to the campers. And it's like, yeah, no, don't do that, because we just went through that. But if there's something that you see in the training that you think would be valuable for the students to share with the students, go ahead and share it with them. But there's nothing that says you can't share it. I'm just saying it's not like you should give them the links to all the training folders so that they can start running through them themselves and trying to figure out what they're supposed to do. Try things yourself in the breakout rooms first. Don't automatically send them to the main room, okay? Try them yourselves. And here's a hint for build coaches. Always check for what have they downloaded? What are they using for their coding? Have they downloaded the right version of the integrated design environment? If they are, and I even got the question from somebody just this past week. She said, am I supposed to download the beta version or the whatever? And even though I have told them, don't download the beta version, she still asks, should I download the beta version? So it's almost like you mention it and it's like a magnet. That's what they go to. It's like, oh, should I order? Then should I do that? No, don't do that. So check what version they have. Sometimes they have the beta version with CodeBender. Sometimes with Chromebooks, you'll have something called CodeBender and CodeBender Create or something up on the web. And then that will screw with everything. So you need to do a little bit of preliminary troubleshooting to find out what's the real issue. Sometimes they pick the wrong Arduino board. So you're going to need to look at that and make sure they have the right Arduino board. Sometimes they have picked the wrong port and you need to check and make sure they have the right port. So these are things that you'll probably become a little bit more familiar with when you start playing with equipment yourself. But again, I really, really urge you to start playing with your equipment. Start hooking it up, start connecting wires. Even if you're a social coach, you have all the equipment.
No way.
Try it.
Yikes.
If a 7th grader can do it, you can do it, Roseanne.
Okay, I'll try. But it's so small. My eyes can't see it.
Lisa.
They're so small.
A very elementary, almost embarrassing question to ask. I watched all the videos from last year and I've watched the videos from this year, and there's all these slideshows that are embedded and we're going to be sharing them. And underneath all the slides are all the notes, and some of them you have to scroll down for. When I share my screen, I don't get to, I shouldn't be sharing the screen that shows the notes or what?
No, well, all right, so I'm going to do this right now and show you what will happen. So if I share, I'm going to share.
It would just, I'm tempted to grab all of those notes and put them on a Word document so that
Yeah, and you don't have to do that because it should all be embedded in the slideshow. So I'm gonna give you an example of it.
I never could get into that either.
Well, and what you have to keep it in slide. Don't download it to your computer. You want to do it right from where you are on the web. If we put a link in the, I'm looking for one that I can do. So I'm gonna grab the front. Okay. And I would say work at, you can make separate notes for yourself or just have one person do the screen share while you do the presentation part of it, Lisa. And then on your computer, you can do whatever you want on your computer since you're not sharing your screen. It's just whoever's in the room is going to be sharing the screen of the same notes that you're going to be reading through.
got it. Okay.
Okay.
that works.
What else? What other questions?
Hmm.
Tech support tomorrow during the,
I will. No, I'll be there.
all right, and we'll work through it more there. Yeah, Lisa.
The email that many of us didn't receive, you're gonna do whatever you can to push that out to us again.
Well, it's being pushed out to you every couple days. I'm gonna have to go and look and see why, and I'm not getting error messages that say it's going into La La Land. So what I'm gonna do is reproduce it on WhatsApp. So that if you're connected via WhatsApp, then you'll be able to get the same content off of WhatsApp instead of having it come through the system.
So going through the social coach link, will eventually be able to access that.
Yes, once you get set up on WhatsApp, try and get that done and I will send that out tonight. I'll make sure that I put the same content, but I'll go back and look at what's going on with the connections and why it's not coming through the system. Okay. Alexis, can you stay on the phone after we wrap up here tonight? That'd be
Yeah.
great. What else? Kathy,